Virgo? Welcome to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. So happy to have all my Virgo friends here with me today. We are going to do your August tarot spreads. I can't believe it's August already. So do keep in mind these are general readings. That means not everything I say here today is going to resonate with all the Virgos out there. Pieces and parts of it might. I hope a lot of it does, but please only take away messages for your best and highest good. You will know intuitively what those are, okay? So if you would like more messages or additional clarity on the things I present you here with today, please feel free to check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign for additional messages. And if you don't know how to do that, there will be a link in the description box below. And in that description box below will also be information for you, including the decks I am using, as well as my social media channels. Go ahead and check those out. I am the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook and Instagram. Other than that, we're going to hop in for Virgo's August tarot readings, messages for your best and highest good. Please do like, share, subscribe if you like what you see here, and we're going to hop in. All right, Virgo. So a healing card to go with this is home. All right. So we'll keep that in mind as we go through your deck. The 3 and the 5 come to an 8. That makes me think of the card of strength. Perhaps some of you are away from home, whatever that means. Home can be a person, right? It can be a place. It can be a zone or environment that makes us feel comforted, that makes us feel like we are among people we love, or it's familiarity, right? Whatever you consider home. Some of you may be longing to be home, again, whatever that is for you. And some of you may be at some sort of crossroads where it's like you could either go down path A or path B. And again, one of them may be more familiar and, like provokes less anxiety or stress, whereas the other one is often to the unknown. And I think you're having to reconcile those feelings within yourself. Again, that's not going to be for everyone, but for some of you. All right, so let's hop in. The heart of your matter is the 9 of Cups. All right, so your wish fulfillment card. And then we're going to cross it with one of these. So wish fulfillment, dreams coming true. Sometimes this can be a card of tremendous like pride and glory for your accomplishments, feelings of having great self-worth and value, but really it's love of self with that cup energy, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Some of you may have been acknowledged for some sort of hard work or efforts that you've thrown yourself into. It may be at work. Some of you may be celebrating an anniversary or a marriage or something like that. But if that were the case, I feel like you would have been with this partner for a long time. This could be that person you call home. What's crossing the matter, okay, is the 5 of Swords. Might be dealing with a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, or an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Doesn't have to be. Some of you, I feel like, are watching other people go off to chase their dreams, to live their life to the fullest, live their destiny. And you've, again, if this resonates, you've stayed, I think, within the comfort zone for a significant part of your life, or at least in the last couple months, years, whatever that is. And I'm getting, it's not so much envy, but it's the idea of wanting to live vicariously through someone, because you're scared or hesitant to take the risks that other people around you are taking. Because again, I think it has to do with leaving that safety zone, that comfort zone. But something has piqued your curiosity. It may be that some of you may have been in a relationship with someone and you love them quite dearly, but ultimately they went off to chase their dreams and wishes elsewhere. And I'm not getting that it's that they didn't love you. It's just it's ultimately what had to happen. They needed their own time to grow and thrive and, again, chase those things. So they felt like there wasn't loose ends or feelings or wishes of regret, like, man, I wish I had done that. I'm getting for a lot of you, your person may have left. And again, maybe it didn't sever the relationship. It could be a long distance relationship. That could be what this longing for home is, longing for your person, and they may be at quite a distance. But yeah, Virgo, I think a lot of you are tempted to go into the unknown, but there is something, that's keeping you where you're at least in the status quo. And I will say, for a lot of you, I don't think the status quo is bad. there's something that is making you happy there, but then it makes sense that this is crossing the matter, but there's something that isn't too. There's something that's making you want to explore other lands or go off in a different direction. So that's sort of the heart of your matter here. Let's see, in your subconscious, you have the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, again, I'm sort of chasing a new opportunity or a new idea. Taking an idea and running with it, taking a project and running with it. Perhaps you've built it on a solid foundation, or you've built it on soil at home, if you will. Pentacles, being metaphors for seeds. And it's almost like you've done what you can do with the project here. Now it's time to metaphorically take it elsewhere, to travel with it, to try it in new lands, new customers, new people. This may be job related. This could also be the idea of like bidding farewell to your person, somebody that maybe you've built a relationship with. And again, if they're going off to pursue other things, with this card, I'm almost getting, if you love something, set it free. And if it comes back to you, you'll know that eventually it was yours, right? It was, and that being the relationship between you guys, that it was stable enough to survive whatever this kind of sadness is. There's tremendous like sadness or longing in this girl's face, male or female, right? If you are still in a relationship and it's overseas or something is testing it, or this could have been a mutual, let's take a break and see what happens. That's what this could be. It doesn't have to be literal distance, but it could be emotional distance with that cup energy. I am getting that you guys still might be sending messages of communication, particularly because bottom of your deck is Queen of Swords. So the idea of communication or truth is very important here. If you're not reaching out to them, you want to, or one or both of you wants to. I'm getting the idea of like looking at your phone and holding it and like wanting to send that message. But I think, again, one or both of you is trying to give each other space. So very interesting. So in your past, what you had is Temperance. Okay. So moderation, I'm getting taking things in moderation, maybe not rushing into things the way maybe you did when this relationship first started. But this can also be finding health and balance and healing on your own, Virgo. The idea of, if you want a relationship, and this could be in terms of a business or a person, you need to both be able to pour from your cup of love, meaning your cup of love needs to be full to the brim in order to share it with another person, and see how these cups are going back and forth. So one of you may have felt like you didn't have enough love to contribute to this relationship, and so again, maybe somebody parted ways. And I'm not saying that there wasn't love there to begin with. In fact, I think in the past there was love going back and forth, right? With that water, we see it. But I will say with Temperance, it's the blending of opposites. It's fire and water. So you guys may have been coming at this relationship with different ideas in mind, or maybe you weren't quite on the same page. There was a mutual attraction, but in terms of where you wanted to build this relationship, or where you saw it going, how you wanted to build it, it may have been a little bit different. One person may have been in a more, and this, I'm not saying this in a negative way, a more dreamlike, oh, we're going to get married and it's going to be great and we're going to do this, but not totally grounded, whereas the other person was thinking very practically, like, I don't have enough money to do this right now. I'm very invested in my work. I have to travel for here. I can't practically, devote all my time to this relationship. So I'm just getting people who are coming at it from different viewpoints or different perspectives. But I will say that no matter where this relationship goes, again, if this is ringing true, it was destined, it was guided. In this Temperance card, we see the love angel Michael, right? It's like this angel, if you will, brought these cups together for a reason. You guys met for a reason. You exchanged cups and love and emotions, had those deep conversations for a reason. It wasn't for nothing, but it may have had to do with your own personal growth, Virgo. You may have been dealing with a Sagittarius, doesn't have to be. But yeah, this is sometimes the idea of healing. So because this is coming up in your past, again, this relationship was for a reason. And I love and hate this term, the idea of you meet people for a reason or a season. This may have been for a season. This may not have been forever, but to be determined, right? We don't really know where this is going. Because in your subconscious, I'm getting a lot of you are in the phase or stages of, if you love something, set it free. So then it's like ... Where is that going to go, right? All right. So your goal, Virgo, is the Five of Cups. Absolutely. Getting over this sadness, this disappointment, these spilled cups, right? Potentially the ending of a relationship. It's the idea of, you're cloaked in that black cloak, right? Or I'm sorry, I don't know what the term I'm trying to use is. You're wearing this black cloak of sadness, right? It's like you're not letting joy and happiness in. You're literally blocking yourself out from the sun. You're not opening yourself up to other opportunities of happiness, right? Of other cups, people, jobs, activities that could offer you emotional fulfillment. I think you're trying to bridge the gap of, I think for a lot of you, releasing this person and setting yourself free, setting yourself free from this sadness. And I think a tremendous part of you doesn't want to heal from this, again, subconsciously, because you think that by healing it, it's releasing it, and it's going to be no longer in your future. This person isn't going to be in your life anymore. That's not necessarily the case, but ultimately I think your goal is to find happiness and maybe companionship again, maybe a new relationship. But yeah, I think you guys are, again, for those resonating with this, you see it as kind of a bumpy road. It's not going to be an easy task to just like, okay, I'm going to get myself back out there. I sense that there was a lot of feelings and emotion here. But yeah, you have 2 5s, and the 5s are quite tricky numbers. And I was reading so much into this 5 as the 5 of Swords is typically a card of conflict. Or I shouldn't say conflict. It's a card of there's a lot of things. Winning at all costs, the idea of saying or thinking things or communicating things you don't necessarily mean. But so much of this reminds me of 6 of Swords, which is the idea of moving on. And so I think the conflict, if you will, is if you're moving on. And that's sort of what's coming on here. Do you want to move on from this sadness? And I mean, the obvious answer was yes, I don't want to feel sad anymore. But again, I'm just getting, it's more complicated than that, right? There's again, potentially in the subconscious reasons why you don't want to move on. And I think it has to do with releasing this person from your energy. I think a lot of you are still holding out hope that, this person could come back into your life. Or bridge, or I don't know, fences can be mended. Is there anything else we need to know about this 5 of Cups for Virgo? Why doesn't Virgo want to release this? Anything? Sorry about that, Virgo. I had a call. I'm dealing with medical stuff, so I'm all good and fine, but I did have to take that call. So let's go ahead and clarify this 5 of Cups for you. Why Virgo doesn't want to release this sadness. Why are they stuck in this sad state? So the 7 of Wands. I don't know why ego just came to mind here. What would that have to do with it? So the 7 of Wands is sometimes proving to ourselves that we have the higher ground, that we are strong enough and capable enough to fight these battles. Some of you may be questioning if emotionally you are strong enough to move on from this. A lot of you may have been in that state of mind of, this was my person, this was my only chance of love, and quite clearly in this card, it's not. These cups represent past disappointment and sorrow. These cups represent the future. Things coming in for you, Virgo, that are going to make you happy, bring you joy, bring love and connection, emotional connection into your life. Either in the form of a person, right? Or it could, again, be a passion project. It could be a friendship. Some of you are scared to put yourself out there and seek new avenues of love. And again, this is coming through almost as guilt in that it's not so much ignoring it, but ultimately choosing to focus on better things. You guys almost feel like you're abandoning this person or whatever this was for you, abandoning the past. It's not that. It's so necessary for you, Virgos, for your own healing, right? It's not doing you any good to sit in this darkness, in this sad place. So yeah, it's like your goal is to get back out there and prove to yourself that you do have enough strength to to carry on, to allow love back into your life. There may have been a lot of people in the past that have disappointed you and kind of taken, I'm just getting that like your heart has taken a beating. Like you've been tattered, you've been shattered, you've been made to feel like when you put yourself out there, nothing comes of it but rejection or sorrow or heartbreak. That sounds really brutal and painful, and my heart goes out to you guys, but that's a temporary state of emotion. That's not you seeing the glass half full, you're seeing it half empty. And I'm also getting, you're not seeing the truth. Again, you're seeing it almost in this moon-like energy of shadows. It's blurry. You're not seeing things crystal clearly right now, Virgo, because you're in a state of depression or sorrow, right? So let's see. So what is coming in your future? Holy cannoli. I like that. That's the Ten of Pentacles. So that is long-term stability. That is long-term growth. If this is representing a career, you're going to be rolling in the Benjamins. But it's also, again, this is not something that comes overnight. This is long-term. It's the idea of legacy. It's the idea of building a family, generations, children, parents, grandchildren. The dogs there represent loyalty, right? That's something I think you are looking for, Virgo, be it in a job or in a relationship. Something that's sturdy and is going to stand the test of time. That's what's coming in for you. So please don't give up hope on whatever this difficult thing is that you're going through. Please try and push past it. I know it's hard. But yeah, these other two cups that are potentially going to bring you lots of joy and happiness, I think it's going to dazzle you past the point that you're even anticipating or expecting. This is huge, right? This is a 10. This is like a game changer. That's what's coming in, but you have to have an open mind and an open heart in order to accept these gifts and this abundance that's trying to make its way through to you, Virgo. So this is you, the Hanged Man. Yeah, the idea of, is this my story any longer? Am I ready to transform? Because we know after card number 12 comes card number 13, which is death. Not a literal death. Death is the idea of transformation, of releasing what doesn't serve us and moving on to bigger and better things, right? With Hangman energy, I don't always get this, but for you, Virgos, I am getting you're sort of stuck. You're sort of in limbo, but it's by your own doing. You're looking for clues and ideas that are going to trigger you to change. But this card is ultimately asking, are you ready to change, Virgo? Nobody can rush your healing process, right? You can watch 1,000 tarot videos. You can read 1,000,000 books on how to cure a lonely heart. But ultimately, it's up to you, right? Are you ready to move on? And some of you, if you're not, that's okay, but you need to find healthy coping mechanisms so that, again, you can get out of bed in the morning, right? Sometimes, it takes a little bit longer for our heart to catch up with our head. Mentally, you're ready for new love and new experiences, new opportunities. But sometimes your heart is still holding on to that person or that thing of the past. This is the idea of taking stock of what's around you, assessing what or who is in your life currently. Are you happy? Do you want to stay in the status quo? And again, if some of you do, that's fine. This is your energy currently, right? But the idea of illumination with this yellow crown around his head, some idea is going to trigger this desire to move on from the past. If you're not quite there yet, with the Hangman, some of you may be dealing with a Pisces in your life. I think some of you may have some very strong Pisces in your chart, maybe a Pisces moon. The idea of taking assessment and stock of what's around you and letting that inform your decision of when you're ready to release and let go and transform. With this, I'm getting resistance. Some of you are resisting change. His legs come to that little 4 position, right? That upside down 4. 4s are a nice equally balanced energy, but ultimately 4s typically in most tarot decks indicate the idea of it's good, it's status quo, but it's never going to change. In order to change, you may have to go into some uncomfortable energy, meaning those 5s, right? You have 2 5s here. Embracing the 5s, if you will, that uncomfortable factors of change, essentially. Embracing that uncomfortable energy, those really sticky, uncomfortable emotions, facing them head on and being like, yeah, let's do this. It's embracing change and embracing the future, right? not letting the past dictate your actions moving forward. So how others are viewing you. Page of Wands. Okay. So yeah, there is sort of an innocent energy to this. How I was saying, I feel like a lot of you have gotten your heart bruised in the past, or felt like people have either taken advantage of you or not really considered your feelings, or just feeling like you're constantly being trampled on, which is such a sad energy, Virgo. I hate that. And when I say that, I mean my heart goes out to you. You deserve love. Absolutely, right? Others are seeing you, I think, in this healing mode, but also with the Page of Wands, something has sparked your curiosity to travel. And again, whether it's not literal travel, it's the idea of moving on from the past. But with pages, it's a more innocent, infantile energy. And that's not me being condescending. It's sometimes the page is the child of the tarot deck. Yeah, it's the idea that you are starting, how I was saying, some of you are curious about moving on. This is you gaining more curiosity, gaining a little bit more zest and power to really explore whatever is sparking that inspiration or excitement within you to move on. It is you healing. Other people are seeing you making strides towards healing and getting your passion back. Passion for people, passion for your hobby, passion for your job. But again, it's in its infantile stage. You may be going to hang out with your friends or in a friends group, particularly the number 3 is important here. What else do we need to know about this Page of Wands? The 3 of Coins. Yeah, so building. You're wanting to rebuild whatever, I just want to say shattered. It could have been a loss of a job. And again, I'm not predicting this. You would know if this is your story. Loss of a relationship, loss of a job. Some of you may be artists and expressing yourself through some sort of creativity or some project. Writing lyrics, writing poetry, composing music, painting a picture or a mural, doing some drawing, doing some like free association writing. That just came through. I'm amazed I just pulled that out of my mouth. Free association writing. Yeah, I think maybe what potentially served as a distraction from this sadness or this sorrow has actually bloomed or will bloom into something quite positive. It's helping you rebuild your strength and your character and your confidence. But ironically, it's through the means of, I think, something creative. Or maybe traveling for some of you, like photography, nature photography, taking a road trip, again, hanging out with friends. 3 is the idea of teamwork. Some of you may be showing off work in a gallery of some sort, or playing in a band with, again, multiple musicians. It's not for everybody, but something has caught your eye and excited that passion back in your heart again. That these are Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but I will say for most of you, I don't think it's in the form of a person. For 1 or 2 of you, it might be, but it's some sort of task or project it's restoking the fire, if you will, that used to burn. That I think kind of got snuffed out a little bit here in your past, but let me take those. Yeah, so I was looking at this card of your past, this I was gonna say Sagittarius, some of you might be dealing with a Sag. This temperance in your past, it's being clarified by the Queen of Pentacles and the Sun. I love this Sun card because it's so interesting. I feel like I could talk about this card all day. The idea of happiness has to do with taking our burdens, our heavy emotions, our heavy thoughts, this heavy baggage we have. It's the idea of bringing it with us on this journey to happiness. The Sun represents joy, happiness, rejuvenation, regrowth, sort of, if you will. But he's lugging around this huge sack filled with we don't know what, right? And that looks tremendously burdensome, but there's something about this of embracing your past and carrying it with you, but not to the extent where you are no longer pursuing your own love of life, your own opportunities. Eventually you're going to be able to let this go, but it's almost acknowledging that everything you've learned up until this point, it has served a purpose on your journey. It's not something that you can just wipe the slate clean and be like, well, that was a waste of time. even with the Queen of Pentacles, it's saying there was something extremely, extremely valuable about whoever this person was. How we were talking about your cups meet, and it may have been opposites attract, or the blending of opposites. You guys may have come from different walks of life or had different ideas on love. Ultimately, it did serve as some sort of lesson. I am getting healing, but it was an extremely valuable lesson in your own healing and maybe your self-worth, Virgo. It wasn't for nothing. And I know that's sometimes difficult to hear, but yeah, it's almost like this expression is kind of, it's tricky to hear too, but don't be upset that it ended, be happy that it happened. I hope that lands for some of you. You could have been dealing with a Capricorn or a Leo. All right, so let's see. What is your advice or guidance here, Virgo? The Queen of Cups. Love yourself. Again, a lot of artistic, creative expression is going to be helpful in your healing process. Don't be afraid to open your heart, to let yourself love again, to put out your beautiful, loving energy out into the world, because it is going to be reciprocated eventually. You're going to meet the right person who matches your cup. Might be with a Cancer, doesn't have to be Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. The Queen of Water, the Queen of Cups. Some of you may be spending time near water, especially if you're on like a vacation or a little retreat or getaway. Anyway, the Queen of Water is careful who she gives her love to, right? Because her cup is sealed off. In this circumstance, Virgo, I'm getting that you've sealed your heart up long enough. Again, the idea of not wanting to move on from this because you feel like you're, I almost want to say cheating on your person by releasing them, by, setting it free if you love this person. It's not your responsibility to close off your heart and wait for this person to come back to you, because that's such an unhealthy way of living. It's not good for your own mental health, your own emotional health. This is saying, like, when you're ready to remove that lid from your cup and put your love out into the world again. And this doesn't have to be rushing into a relationship, but it's being ready to receive love around you because you're willing to give it back out into the world. What else do we need to know about this Queen of Cups? A lot of you have a skill or project, or it could be at work, some sort of endeavor that you're working on, that it could be quite financially successful. But if you have been throwing a lot of your time and efforts into it, this is just a reminder, like, stop and look around you and see how much work you've accomplished, particularly those doing some sort of artwork. It's like you've gone from, photography being a passing of the time hobby to all of a sudden you have like booklets and collections of work that you could display. You may be sitting on a hobby or skill that is, again, quite financially successful, but most importantly, it's helping you to heal. And there may be something about this project, again, let's say it's photography or painting, by going out and putting it into a gallery, it's almost like your work, Virgo, is actually going to be quite healing to others. It's like taking something about a wrong, making a right from a wrong, or whatever this bullshit was, that you went through. And I'm not saying it wasn't significant. It rocked your world. I'm surprised we didn't see a tower. It's taking something from this experience and doing something good with it for the betterment of not just you and your health, but for other people. It may be writing some sort of book on your emotions and feelings and coping. It could be writing a book on art. It could be putting something in a museum or a display. It's like taking your own pain and heartbreak, doing something of value with it, and putting it out for the world to see. And that requires you to be quite vulnerable, which might be why the Queen of Cups is coming up. And some of you might not know what this is yet, and that's okay. If this is your story, the idea will come to you. Channel that intuition, go within, and answers will make themselves more clear. The Fool. Yeah, it's about starting over. This idea of opening your heart up again for the world to see, expressing yourself, again, potentially creatively, or putting your love and effort into some sort of tangible project. It comes from a deep place within you, Virgo. It's coming from your emotions. It's allowing you to release everything and start over again. This is the Fool energy. There may be some sort of innovative idea that you haven't stumbled across yet that's going to be very useful to you, and it's going to help you significantly with the healing process here. I think a lot of you are waiting for somebody to come home, even if you weren't married to this person or whatever. I'm just getting, because the Queen of Swords, that idea needs to be released. It needs to be cut because it's not helping. And when you do, new love is going to come along. So potential outcome is the Emperor. Holy shit, Virgo, that's awesome. This endeavor that I'm talking about, that is releasing something into the world that is not only helping you heal emotionally, but allowing other people to heal because of what you're putting out there. This could be a huge business opportunity for you, the Emperor, right? It's also getting your life back in order. It's getting you grounded again. It's getting you in touch with things or people that you feel passion for. And it's also helping you to set boundaries on who you give your love to in the future. Some of you in the past may have been overly giving. And again, how I was saying, you feel like you got taken advantage of or battered and bruised or whatever that was. This is setting very firm boundaries for yourself on who you're letting into your life. And I actually do like this because it's a really nice dynamic with this Queen of Cups of be open to receiving love, put your love out into the world, but there are limits. You're not going to be taken advantage of any longer. For a lot of you, though, this represents like a really bankable, awesome career opportunity. And again, you may have not seen it coming. It may kind of come out of the blue. The idea of waiting, I just did a random poll for this on my Instagram. There's idle waiting and active waiting. This idea of constantly waiting for someone to text you, waiting for someone to return home, waiting for someone to come to you, you need to cut that out. I'm sorry that that's so harsh, but it's not helping you. This is a card of Libra. It's the idea of balanced scales. You are imbalanced when you are constantly in waiting, right? It's like what you put out into the world is what you get back. If you're constantly in this mindset of waiting and not doing anything, the universe is going to acknowledge that as, well, they're content waiting. I'm just going to keep doing that. If you take action to build upon something, to be in like Emperor mode, to put your love out into the world, the universe is going to return that to you. I'm just getting tenfold. And because this card came up with the idea of strength, the 3 and the 5 to the 8, the card of strength, this has been a huge test of your own strength, Virgo, and the universe is acknowledging that. And I'm just getting, this was a necessary healing lesson for a lot of you. And once you're able to like fully come into your power and recognize that, choose to love despite what's happened in your past or what's been done to you, boom, love comes into you, a new fresh cup, a new opportunity to start something that is emotionally fulfilling, that perhaps is more in touch with your spirituality, your own morals and values. But yeah, there's joy. There's tremendous amount of love coming back to you. And I will say, under that Knight of Cups. Some of you may have a Pisces coming into you. That's very possible. Or an Aries or a Cancer. There's definitely a lot of potential for love here, but it's about loving yourself first and choosing to move on from your past. This 10 of Pentacles that's coming in, that goes along with this Emperor. Something that is bankable, something that is valuable. It could be a relationship that holds great value, right? But it's steady and firm and it's solid, okay? It's not like this flimsy, do we or don't we? I don't know because I kind of want to go, but I'm not sure. Like, you're done with that, Virgo. Intentions will be known here with the Emperor, whether it's yours or a future partner coming in, okay? All right, Virgo, hang in there. Best of luck to you. That's what I got. Please do like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what resonated, and I will see you guys very soon for another tarot reading. Happy August to you. Bye.